today?
Hey, thanks for having me.
I was thrilled to watch this movie. Although I did prepare myself knowing what to anticipate, but gosh, you can't hold the emotions.
Yeah, it's a heavy hitter.
Yeah. If
No.
it hit me on the part where you have Jane looking at all the photos on the refrigerator. Like I held it strong for the most part, and then that's when I just gave in.
There's something about seeing them as little kids and realizing how far back their friendship goes. I know they've said it up until that point, but seeing it and seeing them like in their stupid little pizza costumes when they're, 8 years old, it's pretty sweet. Yeah.
But one of my highlights was the fact that there's a lot of scenes, a lot of the bars, like they're part of my backyard.
Yeah, for those of us that live in Los Angeles, it's like a love letter to our city.
It is. And now that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. How fascinated was it for you to, kind of bring in what the locals, what we do, where we go for us here
I
in
was
LA?
so happy to do it because I feel like for people that watch Los Angeles on reality TV shows or have this sense of what our city is, it's so much more than that. And we do have a lot of holes in the wall and interesting, places off the beaten track. And we have such a variety of people and a variety of environments that people go to hang out. And I just wanted to make sure people saw that side of Los Angeles. It's not just Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive, selling sunset. Like there's more to us than that. And I was really excited to sort of show people what I love about our city.
And what better with a perfect combo with cakes and alcohol?
I mean, who can turn that down?
Nobody. I would say for most of us, that's like our heaven.
It's a magical mix.
Be able to intake all the calories and not care.
I mean, yeah, I've been talking about how the fact that the actors were really good sports about just eating a lot of cake.
It's like one in a lifetime, you get paid to eat.
It's permission to eat whatever you want. You got to do it for your job. All right, take one for the team. Cake all day.
This is kind of based on a true story. There is a real Chrissy that was played as Corinne and Audrey played as Jane. So can you talk about casting the perfect two best friends?
I think the most important thing for us in casting this was just that you believe 100% that this is a real friendship and it doesn't feel forced and it doesn't feel scripted, that it just, you really believe they love each other deeply, and that, like you said, looking at the refrigerator, that they've known each other for years and they can finish each other's sentences. It's like a sisterhood, really. So it was finding that chemistry, and Yara and Odessa know each other. They've been friends for years before this movie. So I think it helped that they already walked in with a certain affection and a certain sort of easy flow in their friendship. But they're also both just really, really good actors. And they really were able to sort of find the voices of those characters in a way that really made sense. You understand what they see in each other. You understand why they kind of fit together the way they do. And hopefully people recognize that. I think we all know friends like that. And we all have the friend that gets us out of our shell when we need to get out of our shell. We have the friend that keeps us grounded when we need to be grounded. And it's a very familiar dynamic, I think.
And then we have the one that just wants to follow, kind of like how Jane's like, I would have followed you to the most miserable place. I would have been there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
how
exactly.
how we have the character with Corinne just hanging on and really trying to push her friend.
I think that's so, like, when your friends see in you something you don't even see in yourself yet, that's one of the things that friendship does for us. I think that's the most valuable, is they believe in you when you are starting to lose belief in yourself, or they see some truth in you or some truth to what you need to be doing that you haven't yet acknowledged to yourself. And real friendship will push you like that, and pull you like that. And I was really excited to show that, because I think these two women do kind of push and pull each other in the way that really good friends can do.
And then also you covered a little bit about acceptance, how we all accept things differently. And that's quite a battle.
And I think ultimately you're right. This movie is about acceptance, because there are some things that are beyond our control. And then there are some things that we really need to accept and then change, you know, and I think knowing how to sort of live your life with that balance of what to accept and when to act and when to sort of surrender is one of those really difficult lessons, especially for people in their 20s that are just beginning to navigate this kind of crazy world of adulthood, you know?
I mean, I'm already in my early 40s and I feel like I'm still a Corinne. I'm like keeping busy. I can figure it out. It'll come to place.
It's a familiar feeling for all of us. You just keep running. You know what I mean? Like keep going. And sometimes you're forced to just like stop and reassess.
You have a great cast. You have some awesome comedy, and not to mention the parents. I mean, you bring in the characters of Fred, played by Ron, and then you have Ruth, played by Martha. They were characters. Those two were characters.
They are so funny, and they were one of my favorite things about shooting this movie was getting to work with them, because they're both so excellent, and so they have such unusual but like spot on comedic instincts, and they also had really good chemistry with each other. So it was just a joy to watch them work and get to see what they brought to these characters, because you can't really put that on the page. You know, the characters were very well written by Audrey, and then these actors come in and bring something that's even more and take it to another place, and it's really kind of a privilege to get to work with them.
And then we also see the parenting part and the parents, and also accepting what these adults want, and at the end of the day, to be and how.
It's so true. And I relate on so much to the parents because I'm much closer to their age than I am to these young women themselves. And so I could really feel for the parents, you know, allowing their daughter to go through this in the way she wants to go through it, and trusting her best friend to sort of stand in as her family in this time of her absolute crisis. And so I really felt for them. I thought they were very graceful and gracious and generous in letting it happen the way it did.
I think it was comical how Corinne would be like watching her parents, like she feels like she doesn't relate, but then yet has so much in common with her father.
Right. Totally. She's like her daddy's girl for sure.
Yes. But you also bring these other phenomenal characters. You bring Bette, and then you bring Navid, who usually we're used to seeing him as like a villain of these action films, really kick ass, and here he is, just more down the mellow, being a parent.
I think it's lovely to see other aspects to these actors, because they're so skilled and sophisticated. They can play any number of characters, and it's kind of awesome to sometimes go against type, you know, and let an action star like Navid play this like dad who's a lawyer, you know, and just like gentle, well-meaning dad, you know, and it's fun. I think they find it fun, and I certainly do. And it brings a freshness to the role because you're not necessarily seeing what you expected to see.
I imagine for these high caliber actors, how do you really play director with them?
Well, I certainly don't tell them what to do. Like there's, you know, we talked together about like how we're picturing the tone of the movie, and what we're picturing as the backstory for these characters, or what got us all to this point. And then you just give them space and time and a safe place to do their work. I mean, good actors are so brilliant and so smart, and are going to come up with stuff that I would never be able to think of. So I think it's all just about creating space for them to do their job.
Which one was your favorite location to film throughout the cake scenes?
I think my favorite location is this club called Los Candiles in Glassell Park. It is a dance club, a music club. It's got like neon all over the place, outside, inside, on the floor, on the ceiling. The ceiling is like a fun house of neon. And it's just such a quintessential LA spot because it's a little grungy and a little wacky, but it's also just kind of one of those places that is unapologetically itself, and anything goes in Los Angeles, and you never know what you're going to find. And it's all kind of colorful and bright and silly. But it also has some history. I love that bar, and I love how much it feels like my city.
Okay. Well, I haven't been to that one, so I'll have to go.
It's a cool place. It's a really cool bar. You'll like it.
Well, Trish, thank you so much for your time. I love talking to you about sitting in bars with cake.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be here.
Likewise. Thank you. Bye-bye.